Hey guys, Stealth here. Welcome back to Transport Fever. This is episode 9 for season 6, which is actually pretty impressive. Most of the time I would have gone completely bankrupt by now. This, however, is a different situation, as I now still have 94.4 million in the bank, and last year I made 21 million, almost 22 at that. So yeah, we're doing quite well. This episode I want to be focusing on connecting Miller's Creek. And Miller's Creek is connected by roadway. There is a bridge up here. It's not the most ideal way of getting there, because I have to go across the land here, bridge there. This is pretty much uphill. And then by bridge all the way north up to Miller's Creek. I'm going to be doing that in a different fashion. And since I have cash to burn, I might as well burn it. What we have for other options are quite a few different passenger ships. We have the Boat Project 1430. These things fit 93 passengers, which, considering the population for Miller's Creek, might be a bit much. You could almost fit the entire population of Miller's Creek into one boat. A 93 transport capability for 115 people is a bit much. Fortunately, we also have slightly smaller units, which can go a lot faster, because this thing has a top speed of only 52. The Hovercraft has a top speed of 93, fits only 15, but their running costs are about, well, almost a third. And I would prefer to have 3 of those Hovercraft running, as opposed to just one of those boat projects. The alternative would be the jet foil over here. This thing is, well, somewhere in the middle. You're going to be spending more on these things than you are on the boat project. They seat fewer people, 60 versus 93, speed at 82, and running costs are higher than the boat project. Probably because they're a hydrofoil. I'm going to be going with these things. Hovercraft. Now, this means that we're going to have to try and slot a port close to the water. Let's see. Turn it around. Outside of navigatable waters. Yes, of course you are. Where are the navigatable waters? There. Alright, that will do. Hopefully this road isn't too deep. No. Please, come on, work with me here. Alright, when in doubt, destroy the original road. There. Sometimes it's so cheesy how you need to play this game. Oh, by the way, we now have a very, very large tram station. Look at that monster. This is the XL tram station, courtesy of one of these mods that I'm using. And this thing has a lot of tram slots. So many that I don't think I'm going to be using this in a short period of time, because I simply don't have that many tram connections. Anyway, Miller's Creek needs a way to get to that boat stop, or to that harbor over there. And I think that I might just be able to do this with a tram. Let's see, go in there, run around, yep. Okay, let's see. Let's do some urban planning. And say that we're going to be connecting it here. I would like to keep the tram lane. We're going to be updating some of these other roads. And all the way there. Perfect. Okay. Next up, set up a line. Starting here, moving there to Kingsway, West Street, North Street, and back. This is, I believe, a clockwise line. Counterclockwise. So this was Miller's, I think. Miller's tram counterclockwise. And we're going to have another one starting there, going here, and go in the opposite direction. So this is Miller's tram. Set up a couple of these actual trams here. Tram depot. And I'll have one of them going left and one of them going right. Done. Next up, I'm going to build one of those shipyards here. So that I can feed in these things from both ends. So we're going to be having, let's say starting 2 of them here. I don't think I'm going to be making a profit with this thing anytime soon. Start there, if you will. And head over here. Pretty long route. But considering my fastest bus can go, I think, 60 to 80, and this thing can go 93, that's probably worth it. I'm going to call this thing experimental to keep an eye on it. So this is Miller's to Spittle Flat. And I might get a connection to Duck Pond and Harpoon Bay as well. Just to see if that's anything that these people are interested in. Let's see, where do I have a tram stop that I might be able to tie into? This is the closest one. Could I just fit my harbor? No. Unless I go terrainscaping. Yeah, the game won't really allow me to do that. Okay. I could try and just put it down here, but it's going to be expensive. Holy crap, that's an airport. There. I hope I can tie this road together. Yep, works. Beautiful. Okay, so now this town also has their own harbor. And I just need to make sure that we have a tram going there. So show me the routes that are currently here. This is a bus line, tram line, Harpoon. This stop has quite a few lines going towards it. So I'm going to have to just break this thing off. I think that would be the most efficient way to do it. Turn it into a sort of a quick stop. Okay, so that's the Harpoon tram. This one. After you're going to King's Road, I need you to tie into the shipping lane and then go back. And the same goes for the counterclockwise line. Coming after Victoria Road, head to the wharf and then go to King's Road. Okay. I wonder if people are really interested in taking a ship here. They might. They might. Let's just see. So this is another experimental line. Spittle Flat to Harpoon. And another one. Starting here. And going there. Experimental Harpoon to Miller's Creek. Okay, let's get some ships going. I'll have another one hovercraft for Harpoon to Miller's. And another one going in the opposite direction. So that's Harpoon Miller starting here. Now let's check. Boats. Harpoon Spittle Flat doesn't have any ships yet. I think we're going to be seeing more than 15 people between these two towns. Let's go with a hydrofoil. Or a jet foil. So that would be Harpoon to Spittle Flat. That one. Now Duck Pond, I'm not too sure about. Maybe Duck Pond to Miller's Creek. That could be interesting. Duck Pond has grown quite a bit, by the way. 975 people living there now. So, I could... Yeah, I could put up a ship here and send it that way. Anyway, what I have yet to do... Oh, never mind. This one's already tied in. Yeah, because this one's so close to that large tram station. Look at the amount of people waiting here. Wow. Okay. Switch to Terminal 4. Right, let's get going. Let's see if these people are interested in taking any of these hovercrafts. At the moment, not so much. Look at the speed of these things! Holy shit! Oh, I like this. A couple of aircraft in the skies there. Somehow we seem to be banking right. Is that correct? Not really sure. Now, I wonder how long it's going to take for passengers to start coming in here. Because I'm not even sure people even want to get to Miller's Creek. More like, as with, what was it, Mosquito? No, Mason down here. People are more likely to try and get the hell out of this hellhole and move to Mosquito Bay. Now, one other thing that I haven't shown you, is the capability of buying the Concorde. There it is. Very expensive aircraft. 20 million a piece. This thing can only fit 24 people. But they're going to get to where they need to go very, very quickly. Almost 2100, well, let's say 2158 kilometers per hour. That's about 3 times as fast as Boeing 737, which for the moment was, until this thing came, both, well, not quite the most spacious jet, but at least the fastest that I had. And talking of aircraft, I still have some of these outdated lines flying around. This one, Joburg to Mosquito Bay. We're going to replace that with, let's go with a couple of Boeing 737s. Replace now. Go for it. The other lines doing quite well. Most of these are now uniform aircraft lines. So Harpoon to Wishbone made me 4.7 million. This one even more. Joburg to Wishbone. And there's still 13 people waiting. Now, I would love to send a Concorde somewhere. But if it's going to go anywhere, I'd say it's going to have to start here. Starting here. And then moving all the way north. There. To Wishbone. That's probably the only location where a Concorde can actually be useful. So, let's try that. Starting here, ending there. Wishbone to Whalers. Let's give that thing the experimental tag as well, to keep an eye on it. And you're going to be getting the Concorde. 20 million. Wishbone to Whalers. It's not quite from one end of the map to the other, but it's from one large hub on one side of the map to the other. Look at the size of that thing. And we have 43 people waiting to go to Whalers. Fortunately, there's another aircraft there. So that's Whalers Joburg. They're not even making me that much money. This is another one of those airports that could go for an extension, so an extra runway. We're going to be taking a look, or a flight along the Concorde, seeing how fast this thing gets to where it needs to be. Geez, another aircraft coming in. Prepare for takeoff. On a dirt runway at that. Look out for the mountain. Speed 300. Still coming in for the turn. Should be on course right after it clears the mountain. 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. And speed of sound. 1200. And that's when it starts to slow down. So yeah, that's a fast aircraft. Ah, some new Dutch trains. Is there anybody waiting here? No. Unsurprising, really, because it's just such a new line. Let's check in with the ships. People are using Hovercraft. They want to go to Harpoon. And that would be this thing? Yep. Look at that. Hovercraft making money. How are these things for transport? 1%? Look at that, they're all trying to get out of Miller's Creek. How about here? No, they're really not interested in taking that hydrofoil. That one. It's dancing around, which makes sense. Any people waiting here? Yeah, 5. Nobody to spittle flat though. Have you made any money? Nothing. Here's the hovercraft. Is that the same one that just left? Wow, you're fast. Impressive. Road vehicle 7. Mason construction. Oh, really? Well, we can upgrade those to the Man 1304 something. And there's another hovercraft. One person. Okay. I don't think it's so much... Hang on. The Millers, and that's the Spittle Flat. Aha. Are they waiting to go to Spittle Flat? Nobody. As expected. That thing is so fast, that might be the Concorde. Not the Concorde. Where's the Concorde? Hello. You super jet, where are you at? Not here. Has he completed another lap? Or are you just queuing over in the north? That might be it. Oh, jeez, I can barely click that thing. Come here. Nope. That is one elusive aircraft. Still nobody on board, of course. Nope. This thing has cost me... Oh, that's expensive. 3.36 million a year to run this aircraft. Wow. Oh, sorry, that's not it. That is expensive. I don't think I'm going to be running this Concorde for very long. This really is the only stretch that I think it could even get to a respectable speed, but never to 2000. It just doesn't really have that capability on this map. Even with a map that is this long, it just doesn't have the room to really stretch its legs. Which is a bit sad for an aircraft that big and that fast. Anyway, let's check in on the ships. This thing so far never made me any money. I think people are way too happy taking trains or buses that they don't really think that a ship is viable. What the hell is rate? 164 passengers per... throughput per station. Right. Well, not really. Yeah, we're gonna dismantle that hydrofoil. Doesn't really get me anywhere. The other one, Miller's to Spittle Flat. Nobody there. Nothing. People are just not interested going there. So, the Miller's to Spittle Flat. So that's the far line from Miller's Creek all the way here. I'm going to dismantle that one as well. The other one I will keep in operation. Because so far it's making me 200 per year. As for these aircrafts, not so much. Go home. It's good fun flying with Concorde, but it is just not viable. Line 1? Not really sure what line 1 was. Let's see how the trains are doing. 1.31 million per year. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. These things have a capacity of 36. And you made me... not bad. About 400k per year. Alright, so what should the next project be? I think I'm going to have to go for something ambitious. Something to do with oil. Because there is an oil well over here, and there's an oil refinery down here. I could try turning Spittleflat into an industrial powerhouse by providing it with fuel. First, I'm going to have to ship a lot of this stuff to the refinery. So we're going to have to do that by ship. I think that... Well, yeah, that or road. Nah, we're going to go with ships. I like ships. Alright, cargo. I'm going to give you 3 loading docks. Good luck trying to get into that angle with a super tanker. Hang on, is that an extra large street? I want an extra large road like that. Oh, come on. Work with me here, yeah? No? Fine. Okay, so now they can... That's a dirt road. No. There. Now they can get to the to the shipyard. I'm gonna make that a truck stop if I can fit that in. We're gonna be having a large amount of these things. Alright, we'll make do. I hope this is going to work, because the game doesn't always quite understand what I'm trying to do. So, truck from here to there. Start here, go there. So this is, let's say, harpoon crude. Next, we're going to have to set up, and hopefully it connects, set up a dock here. I hope that's not too far away. Yep, he gets it. Perfect. At least this way I don't really have to build a truck stop here. Okay. So we're going to take our crude oil from here to there. Not 2 stops. And then we're going to be dropping it off in Spittleflat, because that's along the way. That works. So the next stop, that one. This is, let's say, fuel, Spittleflat, crude / fuel. And of course we're going to have to transport it from here to the rest of the town. And the rest of the town means the industry, which is partially covered by the docks itself, and can partially be covered there. Of course they have industry on different sides of this place. Yeah, this covers most of it. Is that industry? No, that's a residential building. Residential building. Okay. So I think that all the industry is located here. That's perfect. Because that means that I only have to get a bus to bring it from, or a truck to bring it from there to there. That's all. So this is Spittleflat fuel. Time to bring some vehicles into this line. I'm gonna have 2 vehicles, Spittleflat fuel. This thing is gonna need quite a few vehicles, keeping those supplied. Oh, new ships and new aircraft. The Havilland Canada DH7 and another from UTR. Right. 4 of those. That is harpoon crude. At the moment there's no supply here. Freight. The Vita or the Axelp. Speed 30 and 30. This thing is more for refined products. This thing is for crude. And starting up with one ship. Here it is. Just going to ignore the fact that it clipped part of the shipyard. Let's see. Line usage. Please say yes. At the moment it says no. See, sometimes the game doesn't quite understand what I'm trying to do. There we go. Line usage. Yes. And as such, the first fuel should be on the way, or the first crude should be on the way right about now. This thing is going to have a lot of production demand. And hopefully updating its production as quickly as possible. Also, let's make sure that these things don't linger too long. I'm going to have you on 1 minute. $36 production per year, it's still ramping up. Here comes the ship. Dropped off the first bit of fuel. Sorry, oil. There is 13 points of oil there. Should be taken on by the ship. There we go. You're going to have to be producing a whole lot more than that. A whole lot more than that. Jesus, there's a lot of money coming in. Look at that. This may have to do with the fact that I sold off the Concorde at that year. Yeah, 21 million. Three. None. I think that this thing is still ramping up, but it's not ramping up so much that there's an upgrade scheduled. As such, it's not particularly likely that we're going to be seeing these full ships. So I'm going to set up another ship, another Viola, to make sure that we have enough of these things coming in. I want to have a lot of demand. I want to have Spittle Flat turn into a large industrial area. So just to mark it, it's going to be 1308, 1516, 1416. Tram 11's outdated. 35 years, alright. And we have, oh look at that, the Einheitswagen, as well as the TGV. Or the ICE, which one is it? Which one is it? Multiple units. The TGV. I would love to use the TGV, but in this scenario, there's just not enough room for that thing to properly accelerate anywhere. Most of the time, it's just going to be doing these short hops. Oh, looky here. People are actually waiting to go to the other side. Maybe so many. Oh yeah. I'm going to be adding another hovercraft. That one. And I think we can safely remove the experimental tag. Because right now, it seems to be working perfectly fine. Already made me $500,000. And as for your transport rating, jump to 24%. Now, this thing should be ramping up soonish. This one already carrying 40. $12 and 3. This thing can still do much, much better. I'm going to see numbers of production limits 800 or something like that. In the meanwhile, our first ship has arrived. Brought in a little bit of cash, but then again, it was, well, barely going, pretty much going empty. It had 13 on board, I think. In the meanwhile, the fuel refinery, or oil refinery, is turning that into fuel. And as such, we should be seeing, eventually, when the other ship comes in, we should be seeing a little bit of fuel being shipped towards Spittle Flat. But as per the usual, it takes quite a bit of time for these things to get going. Still no upgrade scheduled? Come on. I need to find out what's bottlenecking this line. It might be the ships. It might be the trucks going from here to there. Or it might be this particular truck, which simply won't be able to get enough of this stuff transported between these two lines. But I think that's not really likely. Another tram. How's the other ship? Almost going to arrive. This one's carrying 40. It could carry 6 times more if there was enough of that stuff waiting for it. Right here we have 41. There we go. Keep production high to upgrade in 6 months. That's what I want to see. Now, show me your money. Slow down and drop it off. 233. Loading the first bit of fuel. See, right now this thing is getting a very intermittent supply of crude oil. If it keeps that up, it's going to be having production spikes, which is generally not good for the industry. I would prefer to have consistent supplies. So this is better, 68. And this thing is upgrading in 4 months. How is that fuel line doing? Which one is that? Buses. Costing me 15,000. But I'm making much, much more somewhere else. You know, it's about a third full. No upgrade or downgrade scheduled? You decided not to go through with the upgrade. How did that happen? Because these ships are definitely placing enough demand. This thing can barely keep up. Okay. I could add another ship. They're not that expensive. I mean, they're 1.74. You could get about 12 ships for one Concorde. That somehow does not seem realistic. But then again, spending a couple of months in a train is not too realistic either. This one has the first bit of fuel. And it's probably not going to make me anything. Oh, you're taking the scenic route, are you? Yeah, well, if you're having just to drive about 500 meters, I can't blame you. Ching. 6.27k. Right. Anyway, Spittle Flats currently has 2% of its requirements fulfilled. Upgrade in 6 months. Sure. I'll see, or I'll believe it when I see it. At the moment, I don't believe it yet. 5 months. 37. How's the other ship? Almost getting there. And there's 18 fuel at the moment. Screw it, we're gonna throw in another ship. Go. 4 months. Let's see if this thing actually goes through with it. See, demand is rising. 3 months. Supplies waiting 65. Ship about to arrive. And cha-ching. 3 months. In case you're, I'm not sure if the mic's picking this up, but there are sirens going off outside. I'm recording this on Monday, 7th of May. Every first Monday of the month, we have in the country a general alarm test. This is not an air raid, don't worry about that. This is something that we use in case of emergency. And considering I am pretty close to one of the largest oil refineries, or... Yep, there we go. 200 oil refinery areas in the world. That is why we have those sirens. So that if some sort of chemical emergency goes off, we can have an alert to the population very, very quickly. Anyway, I think this is it for this episode. We have our new ship lines, the Hovercraft, moving back and forth here, and even still, there are more people waiting here than we have passenger capability. Let's add that. Sure, another tram. Replace, replace, active. And zhoof, there comes another one. Nice. I like these things. Final money check. Finances. A little over $1 million. That's not bad in a couple years' time. Now, next episode, we're going to be upgrading the airports. The large airports. These things should be able to speed up the amount of air traffic that I have, especially the busier airports. Money is still flowing in very, very nicely. 60 million, 22, 21, 13, and going up. So, we're going to continue this replay or this gameplay series next episode. For now, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon for more Transport Fever.